Hello, and welcome, my friends, to the next video in the Create Better Content series, where I show you how to tap into your creativity so that you can stay consistent with your marketing and reach more customers. My name is Penny, and I'm going to be your guide through this content development process. I want to teach you how to create engaging content, remarkable content, amazing content, all of that stuff that you're going to post on social media, your sales pages, email sequences, all of those things combined to help you reach more customers. And if you want to learn more about creativity and how this can help you develop your content marketing plans, I would love to see you hit that button below and subscribe to this channel. And below in the description box, there are links down there. One of the links that you're going to see is for the Content Calendar Blueprint program. If you have been looking for something to help you develop not just your content calendar, but the content that goes in it and how to develop a strategy, this email-based training is for you. Another link that you're going to see is that you can join us at the Marketing Strategy Collective. This is my content marketing group program. We get together on Patreon. We have monthly supportive group meetings where we can help each other and we can help you. So if you are going through anything that you're struggling with your marketing strategy and just need some feedback and you're really tired of just doing this all by yourself, the link is below and you know what to do to learn more. All right, so today's video, let's talk about storytelling, but let's get real specific about storytelling. I want to talk about storytelling with regards to videos, not just videos here on YouTube, which is going to be a huge piece of what I'm going to talk through today, but all of your videos, your reels, your TikTok videos, live streaming, anything where you are actually sharing your voice, your image, you are trying to talk about your business, and you're looking for ways to share your content with more personal stories, behind the scenes insights. So let's talk today about how to turn videos into more of a space for you to build connection and that it resonates with people so that it actually starts to lead into sales. So I want to talk about storytelling, especially when it comes to video. I mean, why would you even think about that? Most people think about video as, let me show you how to do this. Let me talk to you about this. Let me have a conversation. Let me have an interview with somebody. But how do you think about, let me start that sentence. How would you think about adding storytelling into your video? Because people want to hear your voice. They want to see your expressions. They want to feel your energy. And so when you add a story into all of this video, it actually goes from just marketing content into something that is more of a connection. Because here's the thing. When our brains hear a story, we are more likely to lean in. We are more likely to see ourselves in it. And we're more likely to feel like you're not just listing off a whole bunch of bullet points and data trying to make a sale. We feel like you're talking to us. And when we feel like you are talking to us, that's the moment. That is the moment when you are moving from just a marketing message into something that people can start to trust you. And when they trust you, that's when they buy from you. So I want to get into actually how to structure your videos and using some storytelling ideas. So I'm going to go through like a really basic example, and I'm going to take you through each part of the storytelling framework, and I want to show you how this works. So then this is for anything. This is for YouTube videos. This is for behind the scenes clips. This is for, face-to-face cameras. This is reels. Whatever it is that you're doing with video, this structure and this framework works for that. So the first thing you're going to think about initially, especially with your storytelling, is a hook. You want something that's going to grab their attention, and it's generally going to be within the first 5 to 10 seconds. I mean, it's like that. You're teasing the story, you're teasing the challenge. You would say things like, and I'm going to start giving you my examples as we move through each one of these pieces of the framework. So like a hook could be with regards to like the work that I do, content marketing. Okay, here we go. Have you ever spent 10 hours on a video and it totally flopped. Yeah, well, that was me until I figured this one thing out. So there you go. That's a hook. So I built it up. I got real specific. I got the 10 hours of video. I had the result. It flopped. And then I brought myself into it because I'm telling the story about me. That was me. And then I'm pulling the hook in because I figured this out. Because now you're like, you figured what out? Because I've spent that much time on a video and I haven't seen it do so well. What did you figure out? That becomes the hook, and that's grabbing their attention. The next step that we're going to do is called the struggle. This is the S3 framework that I've always been talking about in all of my storytelling videos that I've been sharing with you. So we get to the second part, which is the struggle. And this is when we talk about the problem. And it's a relatable problem. It's not just a problem that you have, because you want to remember a story isn't about really you. The story is about your customers, and the customers want to see themselves in your story. So when you share your struggle has to be something that's relatable. It's a problem, it's a challenge that your customers are also facing. So I can move on with my story, and I could say, let's see here. So I was posting every day. I was using my content calendar. I was, using all of these tips that I learned on Instagram, and still nothing, just crickets. So that was the struggle. I'm doing all this stuff. I'm posting. I'm actually doing the work. I'm trying to be consistent, but I'm still not getting any response from it. So there's the struggle. Again, we can all see ourselves in this because there's not one of us, even huge social media influencers at one time or another, have had this happen to them. So then we move into the next step, which is the shift, where we show the change, or there's a turning point where there's something that you discovered, something that you changed, something that you tried, something like a mindset shift. All of these things happen. So I continue my story, and I could say, and then I realized that when I was developing my videos, I was treating them like a checklist. Like I was going down this list of a bullet points and going and do this and do this and do this and do this. So it's no wonder nobody was interested in it, because it was just me rattling off a bunch of data points instead of having a conversation. See the shift? So I realized what was wrong with my videos and how I was just using them like bullet points and checklists, and I wasn't treating them like a real conversation, like you and I are having right now. A real conversation. I feel like you're sitting here listening to me, and so you see where that shift happened, where I realized that this happened, and then this was what I saw, this was what I discovered, and this is what I changed. So then we get to the next part, which is the solution, as part of the S3 framework, which is the struggle, shift, and solution. So our third part of that is the solution. And this is where you talk about the outcome, and then you always want to take it back to your offer, your services, your product, your program. Remember, because the story is not about you, it's about your customers. So if I complete my story as far as the solution part of it goes, I could say, and now I'm creating videos that not only get engagement, they're converting into sales. And it all started with this shift of learning how to talk to you, not at you. Learning how to not just do a bullet point list, but to have a conversation. It's about adding stories into my marketing. So that kind of, pulled it in together. And if I really wanted to, I could say, for more information about how you can help these, I've got videos here on my YouTube channel that I've just done about storytelling. I could say I've done a mini training on my website at the Marketing Training Hub that you could go. So I could always find a way to move this into this so that they could experience the solution and the shift themselves, which is how the story moves. So if we think about it from this place, we want to make sure that your community, your audience, your customers has a very clear next step. You want them to subscribe, comment, click, join the group, download this program. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get them to connect the story to the offer and get them to see themselves in it so that they can they themselves can know what it's like to feel that transformation, that they can see that, oh, I can create videos like this, or I can do this, or I can, whatever it is that your business is helping them do. So that's the framework that we work with. So let's talk about a little bit about the actual content involved, especially when it comes like the behind the scenes stuff, because I think a lot of people do videos and they do a lot of more like selling type of videos versus behind the scenes, getting people to know who you are, who your business is, what your products are, what your services are. We always talk about doing behind the scenes, and we always talk about, this is a way to do it. But do you really know what you should be doing? So let me walk through that, because if we take that framework that I just shared and we can drop it into doing things like the behind the scenes content, let me show you how this would work. Because behind the scenes content can mean a lot of different things. But what it doesn't mean is it doesn't mean sharing your whole life story or being like overly vulnerable. You are letting people in, but you're more about showing them your process, your mess ups, your screw ups, your light bulb moments. The things that make you human, the things that humanize your business. And when we can see ourselves and when we can see an opportunity to connect with a business like that on a human level, that's what builds loyalty. And of course, loyalty is what is going to lead to sales, because people want to know who they're buying from. They want to feel like they're a part of your journey. And that's one of the best things that like the behind the scenes type of content that you can create. And it's not just behind the scenes content, it's behind the scenes content by bringing a story to them. Behind the scenes content is showing how your product is made. Sharing a story about a first client who ever trusted you. Sharing a story about what's been hard. The top 5 lessons that I've learned in the 25 years that I've been in business, and how you're working through it. Those are the types of things, those are the moments where people lean into it more and want to know more and want to be more connected to your story. And it's not just about getting likes. It's about, that they get to that space where they become loyal. These are the people that will stay with your business in the long term. These are the people that are going to hit the, the share button and share your content. These are the folks that are going to refer you. And these are the folks that are going to be your super fans, and they're going to be out there talking about you. And if somebody, has a question about some type of work that you do, these are the people that are going to say, hey, you should, go to this business, or hey, you should talk to this person. So these are the amazing things that, the behind the scenes content can do for us. But you want to make sure that it's not just about saying, okay, this is the next step, do this next step, do this next step, do this next step. Now, behind the scenes, it's more than that. It's about taking them not just behind the scenes, but behind the curtain, and letting them know who you are, and humanizing your business, and letting them know that, this is who I am, this is how I got started, and this is how I can help you. Now, there's a lot of us, and I just want to put this out here too, because I think this is so important, especially when it comes to video. Especially, I've heard this so many times when I've talked to some of my clients, when they say, I just don't do well on video. I'm just not natural. I don't have a story worth sharing. All of that stuff. I'm not on video either. As you're listening to my voice right now, you don't see me. I do. You'll see me in YouTube Shorts. You'll see me when I do my training. But when I do these quick little videos right here, I just use my voice and I just talk. So there's an opportunity there for you too as well. You don't always have to put your face on the video. You could do what I'm doing right now and just talk about what you know, and talk about how you can help people. And if that is something that you can do without having to be on video, that just takes out a whole level of excuses from you. That is a great opportunity for you to stop that excuse and stop that narrative. Because here's the thing about video. Video is just practice. The more you speak into the microphone and you hear your voice and you're okay with it and you create videos like I do, the easier it's going to get. the more that you actually show up and see yourself on video and learn how to accept the fact that, okay, I make mistakes, I bumble, I make weird faces. For me, especially if you see me in my training videos, I use my hands all the time. Can't help it. That's just who I am. That's who you are. It's not like you're trying to win some sort of major award and, be Oscar worthy. You're trying to connect. So if this is where you are right now and you're struggling with even thinking about doing videos, I want you to start your video by thinking about that you're not talking to a whole bunch of people. You're just talking to one person. And that one person would be your potential customer. And if you had that one person right there in front of you, either on a Zoom call or in person, like at a coffee chat, what would you say to that person? You wouldn't be using bullet points. You wouldn't be using scripts. You would just talk. And you'd sound natural while you talked. And that's what I want you to think about when it comes to video. It's not some big scary thing that you have to be perfect and your hair has to be perfect and your makeup has to be perfect. That's if you're, if you're wearing makeup. But you know what I'm talking about. Your shirts, my clothes and everything, all of that. I can't talk with my hands. You can do what you want. Because when you share stories that are real and not perfect, people connect more to your before. I was here. Remember we talked about that with the struggle and the shift and the solution. People are going to be more apt to connect with you because there's more of this before than of you trying to be all polished after. Do you know what I mean? It's like people don't want a spokesperson. They want to work with human beings. That's why they're here. That's why they're looking for help. That's why they want to go online in search of a coach, of a product, of a service. They're looking for help, and they want help with another human being. So I want you to think about that as you're starting to develop your videos, because it's not just a whole bunch of videos, listing out bullet points or behind the scenes content where you're saying this, do this, do this, do this. Make sure that you're adding a story in. Make sure that you are being you in it, because if that's the point where people are going to connect with you more. And when then they start to connect with you and then they start to build trust with you, those are the moments when you're going to start to see the loyalty start. That's the moments when you're going to start to see the sales happen. And those are the moments that are really going to start to grow your business. And if you're tired of all of this content, especially content that doesn't convert, and you're overwhelmed with this, try telling a story. Even if it's just a personal moment or one lesson learned or one client win, that's a story that's going to carry your message, and you're going to start building that loyal audience and that loyal community that is going to help you make more sales. And if you want more storytelling strategies like this, don't forget, subscribe to this channel. Don't miss any episodes. Or you can always join us in the Marketing Strategy Collective. We get together on Patreon. We get together on a Zoom meeting every single month. And we go deeper into these strategies. We talk about the frameworks. And you get the opportunity to get feedback on your marketing ideas. Because I'm pretty sure that you have a story. And it's a story that sells. So let's stay connected by subscribing to this channel. And I would love to see you be a part of the Marketing Strategy Collective on Patreon. So thank you so much for joining me on this creative journey. If you've enjoyed this content, I hope you'll hit that share button and let's keep this conversation going. And if you found this helpful, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss next week's video. I'm going to be sharing more of my stories, more real talk, real strategy, real results for business owners like you who want to grow your business and do it without the overwhelm and the burnout. So as I always say at every single one of my videos, and I'm going to wrap this up again, you are magnificent, my friend. And let me be the first to say, I'm proud of you. Until next time.